This leads me to the third component of this week's fail of increasing fuel prices and my cost of water potentially going up more consistently since we don't have it, and I need to basically import it into our house every week. Inflation. I never really felt the impact of inflation. I had to consider it at work, of course, for projections and budgeting, but for personal reasons, I never really felt inflation. So what does that mean now? So during the phony-roni epidemic, Laos was one of the worst hit countries with inflation next to Myanmar. It was hyperinflation. Fortunately, I wasn't here. I was still working. So again, it was something that I didn't really personally feel about. I was aware of it. Laos inflation this year is so far projected to be over 9%. 9%. And we're only a quarter into the year. And I can already see it. The fuel prices are up 100% as of last week. Since yesterday, they went up another 25%. So that is real. Now it's become personal. And now it's something that I really need to pay attention to, because this isn't just inflation. This isn't just the cost going up. This is going to potentially affect my lifestyle. So this isn't just budget now. It's lifestyle changes that could potentially be impacted. In the US, most recent data, I think they're showing that inflation so far is under control. But inflation is a lagging indicator of what the economy is doing or what the impact. The US hasn't felt the full impact of the fuel crisis. Laos has immediately. When the US sneezes, Laos gets a burning fever. Let me tell you. And now that I'm in here, and now that I'm paying attention, and now that my future depends on what happens in this country 100%, and I am only living on a modest budget, I feel the pain, bro. I feel the pain. When the fuel prices go up, the food goes up. My wife and sister-in-law have told me how the prices are going up. Just eggs are a major purchase here. The cost of eggs almost immediately. There's no lagging indicator in Laos. When the US sneezes, Laos gets a fever, and especially if it lasts very long. When you have these inconveniences that are expense related, inconveniences ultimately end up being budget lines, depending on how big they can get. So my water bill was relatively small budget line that I still managed. I still calculated into my total budget, but now it might actually be a priority budget line if they don't get a handle on this situation. So when you're retiring abroad, retirement risk is not limited to just money. You have to consider location risk, and you have to consider the country where you're moving in, because by doing so, you are accepting the location risk that comes with it. You are accepting the infrastructure, accepting the economy, and you are accepting the rules of the land. And you basically need to learn to live by them. Otherwise, you're going to have a very miserable existence. And so that's this week's retirement fail, so you don't have to make it.